Welcome to the Mwega Show. This is your Bishop, Reverend, Pastor Kamau wa Mwega. Welcome to church. This is the morning service. Hivyo ndio kuko. So, how have you been? Been good? Mekuwa poa? Welcome to today's live, Sunday live. So this is a church service, very early in Sunday morning, 7:30. So hopefully, na plan kumaliza kitu by around 8:30 hivi. So around 1 hour. So ni nini yenye tumekupangia hapa kwa sermon? Kwa hii sermon yenu ama kwa hii sermon yetu ni nini ambaye tumekupangia hapa? What have we planned for you? What have we planned for you? We have a very, 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 very interesting show for you. And this is something which I think itakuwa very important for us to kind of have a discussion, an engagement. So that when we are apologies kidogo, dakika moja. Yeah, can you hear me now? Iko sawa. Apologies. Just wanted to take over some things hapa na pale. Welcome. So once you are here, tafadhali you can post a comment hapo kwa chat so that I know who is on na nikupigie shout out. Welcome. Karibuni sana kwa church service. So welcome to church. Moja dakika moja. Welcome to church. Post your comments, questions, and concerns. Tuone kama hii inaingia. So yeah, karibuni kwenye live show ya leo. So what has this church planned for you today? So we are going to look at the sexual revolution and how it has affected the current situation hapa kwa, let me just set this up nicely, yeah, so that baadaye can come and do a bit of editing. Great. So the sexual revolution and how it has affected the current society, the current engagement, the relationships between men and women. What are some of these things that the sexual revolution has brought? Another thing is California in the US of crazy. The US of crazy. In, I think, 2020, they passed a bill. The governor passed a bill that legalizes or that reduces penalties for people who have sex with children, and especially sodomy. So already you know who is the target. So the boy child hapo hivi amewekwa kwa crosshairs. Amewekwa kwa crosshairs ya hiyo sniper rifle. Okay? So boy child hapo hivi, because let's be honest, who are the people who experience that kind of sexual abuse? It is mostly boys and men. So now by signing a bill into law that gives discretion to the judges whether to reduce the penalties, already that shows you what is happening. So that is something else that we will talk about. What else are we going to talk about? We are going to talk about therapy for men. Okay, issues to do with men and boys. Also, we are going to talk about how men and women, the engagement, what is happening between our men and women. So that is how women are taking advantage of men. This is a men's channel, so you're going to have a lot of fun. Welcome to church. Welcome to the morning service. This is your pastor, Bishop, Reverend Kamau wa Mwega, here with you. I am excited to do this. And those people who are going to come and watch it after the fact, you also asked to comment, post your comment. Like the video, post a comment, like share the video. If there is something that umesikia, which, either you have questions about that we can talk about baadaye, or you have more information about a specific thing that you want to share, comment. Sawa sawa. This is the only way I get to know if you are watching and what are the things you are interested in. Sawa sawa. So now, where do we start? Let's start with therapy for men. Okay, let us start hapa kwa therapy for men, and let's see what the issues are hapa kwa therapy for men. Okay. We are going to watch this video, and then I am going to give my commentary hapo baadaye. And this is just for men. Okay, this is therapy for men, and why. This is something which I've been talking about for a minute, but this is someone who is more qualified talking about it. So let's see. Okay.
Because most therapy approaches are not designed to help the male brain deal with pain or find solutions. That makes men believe therapy is worthless, and men skip things that feel worthless. Also, male depression is usually based on feeling helpless, powerless, and unable to affect one's life or environment. Therapy models focus on helping men feel heard and loved instead of restoring their sense of personal power. Men need solutions, not just feelings.
Absolutely. And we are churning out here in the United States an overwhelming number of therapists who do not have the skills that they need or the experience that they need to provide lasting solutions that will undiagnose you in the long term.
So just to give a little bit of my commentary. So like I said, when you come in, post your comment, questions, concerns, tell me what you think, tell me who you are so that I can shout you out. So this is someone who's talking about therapy for men. Therapy for men. Okay. So the way therapy has been designed, or the way, yeah, therapy has been designed to be responsive to the woman and not to the man. Okay. And I think, or I guess, this is some of that BS that men and women are the same. That is like an extension of that BS. Okay, men and women are the same. So we've designed this thing which works wonderfully for women, so we are just going to copy and paste it for men. And that's not how men operate. Men and women are fundamentally very different. Fundamentally, it's not only biologically, it's not only in terms of their chromosomes, even the way they process things psychologically, the hormones that affect them are different, and they will respond differently to different situations. So let's continue and get more insight as to what this means. Just back up a little bit.
The skills that they need or the experience that they need to provide lasting solutions that will undiagnose you in the long term. There are not, it's not that every therapist is bad. I was a therapist for years. There's many of my colleagues who are wonderful. However, the system we are doing here in America is to desperately churn out as many healthcare providers as we can because we do not have enough of them, and to focus their training in specifically on the Diagnostic and Statistics Manual so that you can treat issues, and then you're going to be coupled in with all kinds of medication, and problems are nigh unfixable because you're just medicating and triaging. So
So
much of mental health in America is based on the medical model and endless triage management, symptom management. That's all it is for the rest of their life. And when you get a man into that system, men would rather kill themselves than sit there and say, I am disabled. I must have a medical help, a medical assistance for the rest of my life. And all I can do is sit here and talk about my feelings endlessly for the next 10 years while paying $10,000 for the privilege. That is
so as this guy is talking, he's highlighting very important and fundamental things. So one of the things he's highlighting is that the system itself, the way it is designed, number one, he doesn't go there, but the subtext is that this system is designed to put people in medication. So it is a business model. So you get into therapy, and the therapist has to find a way to put you under some medication as fast as possible. so that they just push you out because number one, uh, there are not enough therapists. Okay, so there are very few therapists who have to deal with a large number of people. So they have to find a way in which they can, do their job faster and faster. Now the fact that there is this thing where they can medicate somebody and just push them out of therapy. You go take this medication, that one will sort out your anxiety. You go take this medication, that will sort out your depression or your depressive tendencies. Instead of, just what therapy is supposed to do, which is take this person on this journey where they get to understand what is happening and what is causing, what are the triggers, and how do they either avoid the triggers or how do they build what is this thing? There is a word that is used. Sometimes akili yangu inaendaga off. It is there, it is in my tongue, but my mind just cannot grasp it. Okay. Resilience, that's the word. Build resilience against what it is that triggers them. So for example, if I have a phobia of open spaces, but I need to go to work, so there's a lot of time I will be outside. You giving me medication is not going to assist me in the long term. The long term, I need to find a way in which I can go outside and not get as triggered as I was before. So I'm building resilience. But that is not what therapists do generally, especially those ones who are here for the business. Okay. So it's about bringing in clients, medicating them, bringing in clients and medicating them. And some of I am glad because some it's like the mental health space is trying to move from the medication to the preventive and the resilience building. So that's something which is happening, but there is also a lot of resistance. But let's talk specifically to men, and because this is about men. So the system is, come talk about your feelings. You cannot do anything about what is happening to you unless I give you this medication which will help you. So this man now feels that his power is gone, and men don't want to feel powerless. And this guy has put a very important point that men would rather kill themselves than be helpless, than feel that they cannot do anything about their situation. The way men behave is, this is a problem, I need to find a solution for it. So I have a problem with open spaces. So what can I do? What can I do? Can I avoid open spaces? No, I cannot avoid open spaces. So what do I need to do in order not to lose my mind every time I go out to open spaces? I have a phobia for heights. I do. But that does not mean that if I need to go up a flight of stairs that I will not do that. That if I need to get on a lift or an elevator that I will not do it. I will just avoid looking down, but I have to go where I need to go in order to do what I need to do. So therapy for men is something which has been you know and I will say this, and people will say that I always find a way of bringing women issues into all issues. However, I've been in the space where we talk about equality and equity and women involvement and engagement, and one of the things which was very, very, very instrumental in increasing women engagement is having programs which are specifically designed for women, specifically designed for women, to be responsive to women. So why can't therapy for men be designed to respond specifically for men's needs? So that just shows that these issues and this noise of equality is just another synonym for women. So when you say gender equality, that's simply a synonym for women empowerment.
Is not what men are looking for. Men are looking for solutions, and they're looking for guidance in how to apply those solutions. When you give them those things, men will do just about anything for you.
Why is a problem? Why is it a problem for therapy models to focus on helping men feel heard and loved instead of restoring their sense of personal power? Why is that something which is uniquely male? And why is that the approach that therapy models have when trying to fix men?
The brain scans show us that the male brain goes backwards to observe and then forwards to act upon it. It mostly goes like this: back, observe, forward, act. When we see a problem, we act upon that problem. That's how the male brain tends to work. The female brain tends to observe in the back and then go back and forth across the hemispheres and make a bunch of connections and process it and then think about it and pull pieces out and make deeper connections. That that is often why women communicate, to process with each other, to share with each other, and they need to feel heard. They are also fairly risk averse typically. So a woman doesn't typically want to be the one who makes the final decision, but they value being heard so they can have input on a group decision that all of them, their brains go back and forth and make a decision together so that there is shared reliability and shared responsibility among the group. Men want to observe and act upon it and solve the problem. When you have a therapy model that just makes men feel heard and loved, okay, they kind of feel heard. I feel heard. And they kind of feel loved. Well, I kind of feel loved. Now I feel like a useless piece of helpless garbage that other people are sitting here loving. That means they just pity me, and I am just an endless creature of pity who will never solve any problems. It almost makes them worse. Is there a point where it helps men to feel heard and loved? Absolutely. Do men not need to feel heard and loved? No, they do. But it just makes them feel like they are being pitied. And that is something men would rather die than experience for the most part.
And that is something which people will come and say, you know what, that is the ego of men talking. It does not matter. It does not matter. What matters is, uh, how is it, is this thing responsive to men? Simple, clear. Do you want to deal with men? Do you want to engage with men? Uh do you want to be there? Do you want this thing to work for men? That period. That is the only thing that matters. Okay? Hii story mingi ya why, how come, how long, we really don't need that BS. Okay? Is this, do you want to design, do you want to reduce uh deletions in men? If the answer is yes, then how can we be responsive to the needs of men? It is that simple. How can we be responsive to the needs of men? Huh? Hakuna, that's not nini. That is not rocket science. That's not rocket science. I see rocket science. This is something which you can do very fast and sort it, and just get men and ask them questions. Period. What do you want as men? What do you want? What do you need? What do you want? What do you need? Huh? Simple. What do you want? What do you need as men in terms of therapy? So when you get into a therapist's office, what is it that you are looking for? Unatafuta nini hapo kwa hiyo room? Kwa hiyo therapy room ni nini unatafuta? What are you looking for in that therapy room? Period. What do you want to see? How can we be more responsive to your needs? How can we be more responsive to what you need? Now, then people might come and say, and most of these people are idiots. So the best thing you can do is just ignore them. Okay. What about patriarchy? The question, and then the question is, what is patriarchy? Because people cannot really adequately articulate what is it that they are claiming. Okay, what is patriarchy? Oh, patriarchy is about the rule of men. Okay, what about it? You brought it up. Okay, what about it? What about this patriarchy should we be so concerned about? And how is that related to the issues of men? How is that related to the issues of men and therapy? Because they have to draw a parallel. Don't just allow people to talking nonsense and really not have them and really not have them, you know, bring it up and deal with it. So let's get out of issues of therapy and men. So what have we said about therapy and men? It has to be responsive to the needs of men. It does not matter what the needs are, it does not matter what needs to be done, but steps has to be put in place to ensure that that is done. Let's talk about the sexual revolution. Yeah, the sexual revolution. This is when women were told it's okay to be hoes. It's okay to go out there and fuck around. It's okay to go out there and have your hoe phase. It's okay to go out there and have your hot girl summers. It is okay to go out there and have multiple sexual partners. It's okay. Why? Because remember, the sexual revolution was as a response to the contraceptive pill. Okay, so it started a little bit before, but kind of like it is the 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 coming of the pill, of the contraceptive pill, really launched here the sexual revolution, or which accelerated this thing that we call the sexual revolution. Okay, so now there is a lot of talk about how the sexual revolution has made women's lives better. Okay, it has made women's life better. Why? Because now women can work more. So it turned women into workers. Listen to that. The pill turned women into workers. Before the pill, before the pill, women were primarily caregivers, homemakers, because of the pregnancy, because of the risk, not just the risk of pregnancy, but also the issues that come with pregnancy. Because a woman who is pregnant, she is more vulnerable. But now the pill turned women into workers. Okay? Listen to that. Listen to what I'm saying uh, keenly. The pill turned women into workers. And that is something which women have been celebrating, which is crazy to me. Before then, actually, it turned them into, because women were workers before, but they were working for their family and working at home. But now it gave access to corporation and industry to the labor of women. That's what I mean. It turned them into workers. So it turned them into laborers, people who work for a wage. Before the pill, a woman will stay at home, do housework, and the man will be the one who will go out there, have to deal with toxins, have to deal with the possibility of being buried in a mine, the possibility of being poisoned in the industry, and then bring home food. And the woman will take care of, the home. So there was a level of safety for women in that system. But then some because that time the men were the ones running the industry. So some men sat and realized we have so many untapped people out here who are women. So how can we get these women working for us? Remember, when you have more people offering labor than the amount of work, then what happens to the wages? Wages go down. When you have more demand for work, if you have more workers than the work available, what happens? The person giving the work now can dictate the wages and the terms. So that more often than not, the wages go down. Because now remember, there were these millions and millions of women who are coming into the workforce. So now there were extra hands. So wages, that is just the market. That's how markets work. The rule of supply and demand. If there is more supply than demand, what happens? The price falls. So there is a huge supply for labor but low demand, because the person who is hiring knows, if I fire you, si nitapata mtu mwingine. Actually watu wameka, you should go to industrial area, watu wameka hapo nje hizo gate mpaka jioni, just in case mtu ashikwe na wazimu ama ashikwe na kizunguzungu huko ama ashikwe na epilepsy or something that makes the person be fired, then unaambiwa quick fast, ingia umalize hiyo shift na kesho kuja job. So now let's talk specifically about the sexual part. There is a misconception that the sexual revolution was a revolution for women. And that for me is wild, because the nature of women is to find one sexual partner and stick to that one sexual partner. That is the nature of women. It has not changed. Just how many years are we after the sexual revolution? And still women nature persists. You cannot fight nature. So the sexual revolution was actually for men, because men are the ones who have the biological and the social imperative to have multiple sexual partners. But now remember, the setup of the society was a bit upside down. The men were supposed to have, or the men want more sexual partners. The men want to just have sex with a lot of other women, right? But then the women could not have sex with these men unless they were married to these men, or unless they worked in a brothel, or they were loose. So now the men were caught. They were having, like, they didn't know what to do. So what happened? Men came up with the pill. Why was that the case, that women were discouraged to have casual sex? It's because of pregnancy. Okay? If you got pregnant, that was a problem not only for you, but for the society. A big problem. And so the society was like, no, women, close those legs. Require a man to marry you for you to have sex with him. Require a man to marry you for you to have sex with him. But this man or these men really don't want to marry these women, but they want to have sex with them. So why did women require marriage? It's because of the possibility of pregnancy and the vulnerabilities that comes with it, and the social stigma that comes with a woman who has a child out of wedlock, who is not married and is pregnant. So men were like, see, tutengeneze hii pill. And the pill was, the pill came, and the men were very happy. The men are so happy even today. Why? Because once the women got the pill, they decided that now they can get into their whole faces, that it is okay to be a hoe, that it is okay for you to be sexually promiscuous. And this is heaven for men. I can't tell you how much men enjoy that, how much men appreciate that they can just have sex with women without these women expecting anything from them. And then women now started being told that it is okay for you to have a casual fling. It is okay for you to have a high body count. So what happened? Marriage rates dropped. Why? Because men still want women with very low body count. If she can have a zero body count, even better. So the environment is changing, but the nature of men and women still is the same. Women still want commitment for them to have sex with a man. A man still wants to have sex with a lot of women, irrespective of whether he's committed to a woman or not. And he will prefer not to be committed to a woman. So now women are encouraged to push down and suppress their instinct, their biological imperative to lock down a man, so that that man can concentrate on them and possibly raise a family for them just to go and have a whole face. So when they have that whole face and they come back and they want to be married, no man wants to marry them, or very few men even entertain the thought of marrying them. And so women lose out on good wife, on a husband. And then also men lose out on good women because, and there is something Andrew Kibe said. I was watching one of his videos last night, and he was like, show me a virgin in Nairobi and I will even quit my YouTube career. Moja to a woman who is a virgin in Nairobi. So women have been promiscuous for so long that getting a virgin is unheard of. But then men, even if we don't want virgins, but we don't want somebody who's been run through by the whole community. So women still have to balance on that rope, that yes, I want to be sexually liberated and live like the society expects me to live today, but I want to get married and my husband will not want me to be choya mtaani. So how do I maneuver within this? So sexual revolution actually came in to benefit men. And then sexual revolution and the pill. Now, from the pill, when the pill came into place, when the pill came into place and women now are sexually liberated. Single motherhood went up and abortions went up. And STIs, and specifically STIs. Why? Because now women were not afraid of pregnancy, because now at least they have a pill, so they have some measure of control. And then came in penicillin. So don't worry, go out, have sex. If you happen to contract an STI, we have medication for you. And the STIs rates, especially those promiscuous nations like the United States of Crazy and the UK and Australia and all these Western nations, the STIs are crazy. The rate of STIs, the number of people who, and they really don't care. You know, sometimes you look at people and they're like, they will tell you live, they will tell you, they have no qualms telling you what STI they have. Like, that's how proud they are of their sexual promiscuity, and how proud they are that they are even getting sick in the process of their sexual promiscuity. So if you meet a woman, even right now in Nairobi, if you meet a woman, like or a man, just assume that wamebeba poison. Simple. That wamebeba poison. Number one, especially women, they are sexually liberated. So of course body count is from here to Meru. Then once mtu ako na hiyo high body count, of course unajua amebeba magonjwa from here to Tanzania. So at your own risk, get there at your own risk. Sexual revolution imekuja imesaidia wanaume sana, because now single mother, so men have the option of telling a woman, you ende umeze P2 after they have had unprotected sex, ende umeze P2, ndio hii pesa ya P2, ipil ndio hii pesa for the ipil, that is plan B, ende umeze. So if the woman opts not to go and take the pill, so she gets pregnant, but the man is like, mi najua after we had sex I gave you money for P2, so me, I'm not responsible for that kid. And then the woman is like, no, I didn't, I was busy, or maybe there were no P2s and this happened, and I will go and terminate that pregnancy. Here's the money, go and terminate that pregnancy. So if the woman chooses to keep that baby, then how is she going to claim that the man is responsible? The man made his mistakes and he put in whatever measures he thought, whether right or wrong, to mitigate his mistakes. So the first thing is he provided money for P2. The second is he decided, you go and terminate that thing, and he provided money for that. So you go and decide, no, I'm still going to keep this baby because my faith that this is where it gets crazy. So this woman is a person of faith, and the faiths, or the mainstream faiths, discourage adultery and fornication. So she chooses to commit whatever between the two. But now, when it comes to terminating the pregnancy, either taking P2 or terminating the pregnancy, now the faith kicks in. So now she decides, I'm going to have a baby. And the man is like, I don't want. So single motherhood goes up. And because of promiscuity and the encouragement of women to be promiscuous, if a woman in her office has sex with multiple men in a certain or window where she can get pregnant, how does she know who is the father? So she cannot claim one man is the father as opposed to the other one. She cannot claim that. So she gets into the baby mama, the Wamama Sako. She becomes a member of Wamama Sako. Okay. So sexual revolution, number one, you are saying, women now can follow their career. But what is this career? Very few people have careers. Very few people have careers in the world. I will even put forth a claim that less than 10% of the whole population of people who are working have careers. Most of us have jobs. So this woman or these women now have jobs or careers. So who does that benefit? The system, the industries. So it does not really benefit you, because at the end of the day, a woman, not all of them, of course, I'm talking in general, a woman wants to find a man who will marry her, and then she has kids and she raises the kids, because that is what makes women happiest. Not being in some office wearing some power suits and being 50, childless, not married, and miserable. Like I said, there are a lot of women who don't want kids. There are a lot of women who don't want to be married. So for them, the career is the perfect thing for them. But then there is a problem, because that career will come to an end. You'll get to a time where you need to retire. So you no longer get that satisfaction of doing things in the office. Okay? Doing things in the office. So you no longer get that satisfaction. So where do you go to? Where do you go to? You don't have kids, you don't have a husband, so you probably don't even have good relationships. You didn't have time to build good relationships. So now you are alone, and you're a woman, and you are like 60 going to 70. And remember, that's the time when the body just decides to, the health just decides to nosedive. So you don't have someone even for company. So most of these women are very lonely. And that's why you see them 50 and childless posting thirst traps on Instagram, putting their bad, wrinkled, horrorsome bodies on the internet, trying to get attention from men. They are miserable. So the best they can do is pay for sex. No, they turn into men. And then now they have now to, this thing which they were getting free of charge, this thing which they were getting for free, that people were begging, men were always in their DMs. See, women, let me talk to you just for a minute. You see, all that attention you're getting now that you are 18, 19 to around 25. See that attention that you just walking in the streets. Every man wants to talk to you. Every man's gaze is on you. Why? Because you are in that, you are SMP or SMV. Your sexual marketplace value at that point is the highest. When a man looks at you, he's seeing a wife, he's seeing a future, he's seeing kids, he's seeing low body count. That's what he's seeing when he's looking at you. So many women just say, huyu mwanaume ananiundress na macho. It's not more of undressing, it's more of looking at you and seeing the possibilities of building something with you. Not all men. Kuna wale watu huku nje, they have issues. But a man looking at a young woman who is like 18 to around 25, anaangalia, anaona fertility, anaona youth, anaona the amount of fun you guys can have, the amount of nice youthful energy that this young woman can bring in his life. And then you woman who eventually want to get married decide, me I'm going to look pursue a career. So now ukishafika 25, wakati unakuwa mzee kidogo, the attention just starts to diminish and diminish and diminish. And you see, the problem is that women don't know how to differentiate attention from people they want and attention from people they don't want. So when they are young, they get attention from across the board, from the people they want and from the people they don't want. Across the board, every man wants her. Then when she gets older, she starts getting, starts, like, the attention mainly shifts to the people she does not want. But then for them, they don't realize that there is a shift. For them, attention is attention. Okay? So if you ask like a 30-year-old woman, who's looking good? Do you still get attention from men? Of course, I still get attention from men. What do you mean? What do you mean the attention of men will diminish with age? I still get men in my DMs. But now if you ask, are those the kind of men you want? Then now it's like a light bulb moment. Like, by the way, these men who are in my DM are men I will not want to be caught dead with. So there is that difference. You're still getting attention, but it is from men you will not want to deal with. There is this thing that is called hypergamy in women, where they want to marry someone better than them, who earns more than them, who has a higher status than them, which is their nature. It's not right, it is not wrong, it just is. So when a woman is young, she's 18. A man who is at 25 has a higher social status than her in terms of experience in the world, in terms of, this person has probably ndio amemaliza campo, so of course akona the campus experience. So this woman probably wants to go to campus, but then this 25-year-old has been to campus, so there is something he has over her that is more than what she has. So 18 and 25 can work. Okay, that can work because of the status and the experience. Okay, now the more a woman gains experience, the more her expectation goes up, because now her experience is up, and it just goes like this. There is never a time when zinapatana where what she wants and her experience zinapatana. She always wants higher. Haijalishi whether she's 40, she's 50, she always wants higher. Some of them, when they realize that they can't have higher, they decide to go lower. Case in point, huyu mumamu wa Bahati na Bahati, ule mumamu wa Guardian Angel na Guardian Angel. And you see, this is crazy because I know Guardian Angel and I know he's married to an older woman, but I don't even know her name. It's not important. And it's no disrespect, but it is not important. I just know Guardian Angel is married to an older woman. And I think huyu wa Bahati is because she's sana on social media. Diana. She's always on social media, so probably that's why hata nakumbuka jina yake. And because Bishop Andrew Kibe has been going after her, because she alitoa ngoma moja hapo, a song that actually sounds very nice if you listen to it, volume ikiwa 0. It sounds very nice when the volume is at 0. But that's not here nor there. So I was talking about that issue of what women want and all that. So women, and this is something which Kevin Samuels always asked. What is this thing you are getting out there that is going to help you and your man? What is this experience that you're going to look? Because if you ask women, why didn't you look for a husband young? Of course you knew you wanted to get married, but why are you old and you're not even married? And when I say old, I mean 25 and above. So when I say old woman, 25 and above. So why are you old and you still want to get married? Oh, I was too young, I wanted to get experience. That is their go-to answer. And the question is, how is that experience you're going to get going to, number one, help you get a husband, and number two, assist you in your marriage? Because, for example, if a company comes and offers me a job, right? Now they say you are qualified for this job, come work for us. And I say, I am not ready, I'm going out there to get experience. When I get this experience, I'm going to come back. So what is this experience that I'm going out there to get that is going to bring value to this company, that this company is going to get me after 10 years? So that's what women need to ask themselves. If a guy approaches you when you are young, when I say young, I mean 25 and below. When I say old, I mean 25 and above for women. When you are young, so a guy comes and says, hi, I want to marry you and everything. And the woman says, no, I'm too young, I need to go there and get experience. So now she needs to articulate what is this experience she's going out there to get in order to help her in a marriage. And let's talk about this experience, sexual experience. Men don't want sexually experienced women. So the more dicks you've experienced, the less desirability of you, and for men of you, just goes down. Okay, the more years you get, the older you get, the less men you become desirable for men. So you're pursuing something that on average is working against what you want eventually. Because most women just want to get married, have children, and find wealthy husbands who can take care of them. And if they have to work, they don't really want to go out and work for 50-50. They'll work for 10%. And if push comes to shove, they will give you 20%. But above that, they're like, why am I even your wife? Why am I even your wife anyway? And I have to work to do your things hapo hivi. Wewe unafaa kuwa unanilisha, wewe unafaa kuwa unalipa rent, wewe unafaa kuwa unalipa watoto school fees. What am I doing? Value yako kwa maisha yangu ni gani if I still have to work? So now you have to get into that drama. But she wanted to go to campus, she wanted to get employed, she wanted to go ride some dicks, she also wanted to get older. And now when she comes into the house, she will probably quit that career or that job to become a housewife. Or quit that job and go look for a job where she works part-time. So why are you wasting all these years to build something that you are going to demolish pale mbele? Because now, for example, it's like me wanting to go to Mombasa and then nachukua barabara ya Narok naelekea Homa Bay. But eventually, where I want to go is Mombasa, on the opposite direction. But where I'm going, near side ingine. Now, the question is, why am I spending a lot of my time going to Homa Bay? And I wanted to go to Mombasa. Mombasa. Like, I want to go to Homa Bay. And then when I get to Homa Bay, then I'm surprised because sioni Waswahili. Sioni Waswahili. Sioni Indian Ocean. I am there perplexed. Where is the Indian Ocean? And somebody had told me, hey, let's go to Mombasa. I'm like, unaenda Mombasa? Eh, tunaenda Mombasa tuende hivi. And then I'm like, mi naenda hivi. Like, then they look at me crazy. Then I get there and I start, that's what women, that's how men look at women when they are old and they have nothing, they have less to offer, and then they are wondering, they're asking, where did the good men go? The good men do not even notice your existence because you are old. you have a high body count, you probably have 2 or 3 kids. So nimemalizana na wanawake. You see, we have to say this, and I had this discussion, is it yesterday, with a friend of mine, and she was asking, wewe kwa nini unaingiliaga wanawake? I'm like, what hii naingilia wanawake aje? Like how? Abu explain that, how naingilia wanawake. Explain how naingilia wanawake. And she could not articulate how naingilia wanawake. So I have nothing against women. I love women. I am married to a woman. Women, you are the most wonderful thing that God ever made. Now let's talk about the United States of crazy. And then talk about the United States of crazy. Craziness starts in California. And why is this important? Especially because I'm Kenyan. Why is this important? Why do we need to talk about this? It's because Kenya, it takes, something happens in the US and takes something between 5 and 10 years for it to get here. So it starts there and eventually makes its way here. So lazima we keep tuangalie na trubin the US of crazy. What is happening? California has decided to go after boys. Has decided that it is okay. And this is the Washington Examiner. Governor Newsom, and the story near, let's see the date, near Saturday 11 2023, na ini repost ilipostwa September 12 2020. September 12 2020. So Newsom, the governor of California, signs into law controversial bill reducing penalties for sexual relations with minors. Let me repeat that headline. Governor Newsom signs controversial bill into law reducing penalties for sexual relations with minors. Why is it important for us to talk about this na inahappen huko kwa United States of crazy? It's because they like to export their degenerate behavior. That's why mnaona the ABCD, FGHC sahi wamejaa Kenya. Paka walikuwa na walipeleka kesi Supreme Court. The ABCDs. Kidogo kidogo the T, kwa hiyo ABCD, QFG, HCT, kidogo kidogo utawasikia Kenya. Na si ati utawasikia, already wako. Siku moja jamaa anaitwa Kenothia. Huyu wa TikTok. Kwani mnafikiria ni nani? That's the T in the BCD, FGHCAT. We have them. Tuko na huyu mwingine mwenye anaitwa Terence. Allegedly. We have this other guy huyu mwenye anaitwa Eric Omondi. So they hide their degeneracy under creativity. I'm a creative. That's where they handle their degeneracy and their sexual proclivities. Is that the right word? Rusungu is not my mouth. Now, so the US of crazy has gone so liberal, so woke that sahi I think wako 16th century. They are so in the future that they actually went back in time. And these people are so ahead in the future, they went back in time. Because now, if you are reducing penalties for sexual relations with minors, means that you are legally trying to make it acceptable to have sexual relations with minors. So it starts here, and then kidogo kidogo unasikia the age of consent, because what is the point of this? The point of this is they want to reduce the age of consent. That, and people have been saying this, and especially the conservatives in the US have been saying this for a minute now. That the reason why you see this ABCD, FGHC people being propped up is because there is a section of people who want to target minors that are prepping the population, the society, the communities. They are just prepping them for this. So what do you do when you want to bring something that you know will be 100% unacceptable? Is you find something that is less an issue and you bring it and you make it acceptable and you make people tolerant to that. They tolerate that. Then you bring something else a bit crazier. So because people already opened up their mind for this one crazy idea, now when you bring something a bit crazier, then they will also, you see, you test the waters, and that's where we started with the ABCDs. Then there was accept us. It is our life. We don't want to. Then they started pushing the agenda. They started pushing this thing even in schools. Okay, so they started targeting children into the ABCDFGHC community, and now then they brought the transformers. Then the transformers were about no, this has nothing to do with you. This is my life. If you don't accept me, you're a bigot and you're a phobe. Right? And then that one, now in the US and of course the Western nations, because that's where that's an asylum. Listen, people in the United States of crazy, people in Europe, you are living in an asylum. That's crazy people town. That is crazy people town. People from where I am, they are looking at you crazy. But you see the problems that you people don't want to keep your crazy, don't want to keep your issues, your problems with you. You want to export it. And because you know you have leverage, especially on developing nations. So use that leverage to export your degenerate behavior. This case, your Supreme Court, juzi, in the last 10 or 20 years, hiyo kesi hata ingefika Supreme Court. Ingediliwa nayo, hata sidhani hata court ingeaccept kudiscuss hiyo issue. Hata lower court ungeenda ati nini ati ABCD QFG. Hiyo ni nini? Kwanza fungia hao pamoja with their lawyer. Fungia hao kwanza with their lawyer. You can't bring that nonsense hapa kwa court. 20 years ago, hakuna lawyer angeshika hiyo issue. Hiyo kesi. Lawyer anakuambia, listen my friend, I understand. And probably I sympathize and empathize with you. But I am not going to put my reputation on the line for you. This is something I cannot do 20 years ago. But sahi imeenda Supreme Court ikasema mko sawa. You can have your own associations. So there is this acceptability of degeneracy. Mainstreaming it. That's the issue I have. The mainstreaming of it. Somebody, you are free to love who you want to love. You are free to marry who you want to marry. Just find somebody to be miserable together with. You are free to do that. But mainstreaming that is where I draw the line. Like, why do we have to mainstream degeneracy? In my opinion, why? Now they have taken it a step further. Now wamefika mahali penye they now know that people are so scared of being seen as some type of phobe that now they will accept anything you throw at them just because if they are afraid of being called transphobic, uh, homophobic, genophobic, whatever phobic. So now they get to do this. Now they get to do this. This is where it leads to. This is where it ends. This is the end. It's where now your children are no longer safe. My children are no longer safe. So now the United States of crazy is so woke, is so liberal, is so accepting. It is so in the future that they went back in time to the 18th century, 16th century, the first century. So they will reduce the age of consent. And then now it will be okay for people to marry children who are 10 years, children who are 8 years, children who are 13 years, and it will be legal. So we are doing a 360. We are going back where we started. We are going back where we started. This is not our 180. Our 180 is going backward. We are going back where we started, where we decided that, you know what, marrying children is wrong. That's where we are going back to. Children should be given time to grow and mature. No, that is no longer what we want. We want to get them when they are young. This is where it's going to. So we are headed to. And it is time people decided to start wearing transphobia and homophobia and all those phobias like a badge of honor. Because if I know, I don't have to accept, I don't have to agree with you. Because I don't expect people to agree with me. So why should you expect me to agree with you? So if I disagree with you, I am a homophobe or a transphobe. Good, well and good. I'm good. So which other one? Misogynist. Put also that one in. Let's make the adjectives. These adjectives or pronouns. Let's turn these things into pronouns. So transphobe, homophobe, sexophobe, misogynist, all these things before my name. I'm good with that. That is acceptable to me. Why? Because there are things as a society we have to say no to. This is an asylum. And let's look at that story and we see. Let's just look at it. Where are we? Newsome. This just it triggers me because now judges have Governor Gavin Newsom has signed a controversial new law. Let's see if we can see it clearly. Yeah. Let's see if I can see it a bit clearly. Yeah. California Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom has signed a controversial new law regarding judges' discretion on whether or not to add individuals to the state sex offender registry who have committed sodomy with minors. So there is an expectation that if somebody has committed child sex abuse, that this person should be put in a national registry of child sex offenders. No, actually, just general sex offenders, all sex offenders. So if you've done the rape, if you've done the assault, if you've done all that, you need to be. It is a requirement that you be put on the offenders list. But now, this governor has decided that judges can have discretion on whether or not to add these people on child on sex offenders, the registry. So now, and this is in 2020, and we're in 2023. So probably right now in the United States of crazy, in the state of California, we have people walking around who are child sex offenders, but they are not on the list of sex offenders. So how do we keep our children safe? So for example, if somebody is applying for a job to be a teacher in a school, one of the things which the school does is to go check, search their names on the registry to see if these people are qualified and that the children are safe in their care. But now, how do you know? Probably California, and even it's not only in California, in other states, they could have employed people who are convicted on child sex abuse, because those people's names are not on the registry because a judge decided that no, I'm not going to put you on the registry. So now you put more people at risk, more children at risk, not only in California, but across the board, across all states. But you see, these people are they have their head so up their ass. Their head is stuck up so high up their ass that they can't see anything. And this is not the place. This is not the place where you say, or the situation where you say it's their loss. This is everybody's loss, because there is a possibility of this sex offender going across states where they can get more access to other minors. Look, I know people think this is a good thing. Those people think this is a good thing, that hey, yeah, we are getting liberated. That's the liberal mindset. This is great for autonomy and all that nonsense. But listen, if the law is not responsive to the needs of its citizenry, then the citizenry will take the law into their own hands. That is where this thing leads to. So if I know, if you violated my child, and this is just a hypothetical situation, if you violated my child and they knew that the law in our state is going to be lenient on you, what do? Send you to your maker. Because you're not going to violate my child and still walk these streets. No. Something has to give. Something has to give. And people are so protective of their children. There is this natural inclination for people to protect children. And that's why this trans thing has hit a snag, because they went after kids. And people are like, what? And now this, hey, they are going now after kids. So now, if we are not going to deal with first century, second century, third century behavior, and then respond, or um, respond with the laws of today, 16th century behavior will be rectified by 16th century law. 16th century behavior will be responded to by 16th century law. You cannot legalize something as wrong as that and then expect people just to sit back and. But I know California is full of bitches. People don't have balls in California. Men especially don't have balls in California. Nah, you have all been castrated. You have all been, I don't know if they have been putting those puberty blockers in your food or something, but you lack balls. That's why I love red states. But hey, I'm African. I'm African, baby. Okay, I'm African. I like things traditional. I like things that make sense. There is no way you can tell me that it is okay for a grown man to abuse a child sexually. There is no argument that you can make to me that will make me even listen to you. No, just the fact that you want to make that argument, just the fact that you think you can make that argument to me, we are just going to have a problem. By you thinking that you and I can have that discussion, we are going to have a problem. Just at the start, we are not going to have that discussion. So there is no point where you and I will have to sit down and discuss and decide what is no. And that should be the mentality of everyone. Just because the government, no, number one, start with the people who passed that bill in the legislative body of California, whether it is the House or the Senate. All of them should have been recalled. Anyone who approved, that's not something we are going to discuss. That's not something we are going to have a discussion about, or you are going to give you time to explain to us what you are reasoning. No, don't care. It starts with you all the way to the governor. Go home. You can go and do those things you want to do some other place, but not here. But what is California? California is a place where it's full of men who are bitches, weak men. So if you're watching this and you are in California, you're a bitch. You're a man and you're a bitch because you are allowing your children to be put in at risk, so that you don't seem, because you are so weak, you can't stand on your two legs and say no, this is unacceptable. And this thing has not even hit headline the way it should, because I just saw this the other day. I think people are like, what happened in 2020? California did this. Because now that this is when people are like waking up to this reality. It is already low. It's been low for what? At least 2 years now. So how many child sex offenders are walking out here and they are not in the registry? So that's where we are. Yeah, tunaenda tukimaliza show. So now let's see let's see what we have kwa wanaume kuokotwa. Acha tuangalie people who have been Okotwod proper. This for me is just inanibambaga sana. This is like my best segment kwa these streams. I will try as much as possible to be doing this kinds. Iwe inanibamba mbaya sana. Because it is hilarious. So let's read this Castoro. 840. Hey, we are past time. I married my wife 26 years ago. She came with 2 boys from her previous marriage. I really loved them and adopted the kids since I'm not medically fit to have children of my own. Good. We stayed peacefully in rented houses. I was working back then. I made sure to take care of my adopted kids to the best. To take my adopted kids to the best school. Their father never came to claim them or even support them. The boys were very bright in school. Blah 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 blah. Mmoja is a doctor. The other one is a pilot. Let's see. So huko whatever. My happiness is that my boys are successful to have bought a big house. My problem is that my wife and the 2 boys have reunited with their dad and now living happily together as a family. They seem to have abandoned me here. I can't even pay my rent anymore. I retired long ago, blah, 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 blah. What do I do now? My life is miserable. Me, I have a soft spot for men and boys, but I don't have a soft spot for stupid men. So what do you want us to tell you to do? The best thing you can do is you decide whether you want to live or you want to delete yourself. That's it. That is up to you. I'm sorry I have to just be this blunt. Just have to be this blunt. Because there has been enough information out here, especially in the last 10, 15 years, about people who do this, about the risk that these men are putting themselves in. But you chose, you just thought you were different. So that's what you thought. It can't happen to me. They love me. It can't happen to me. I'm different. I'm doing all these things for them. Listen, what is happening to you inauma, because wewe ulijitolea ukakuwa Captain Sevaho, ukachukua mwanamke ambaye ako na watoto wawili, ambaye alikuwa na mwanaume mwenye alimpatia mimba, mwenye hakumshughulikia, ukawalea, ukawafanyia, ukawajengea maisha, and now they have gone back. Your woman, or the person you thought was your woman, went and got back with the father of the children, and now they are enjoying the fruits of your labor. So unataka tukusaidia aje? We'll just call you stupid. Wewe ni mjinga. When you just enjoy the fruits of your labor. You worked so hard for it. And have fun. Have fun. You can't blame kids for wanting to be with their father, but you can blame the woman you called your wife. Because that, but then it is in their nature. Look, what hurts hapa is because, but at least kuko na that consolation that they are not my kids. So even sisi wale wenye tuko na watoto wetu, ambao sisi ndio their biological fathers, as far as we know, sisi ndio their biological fathers. This also happens to us. Unalea, unasomesha. I have a family member, an uncle, who I don't know what the dynamics was, so I can't really talk about it. But daughter yake akaenda Maju, and she got married there, and then she supported her mother kumfuata huko, so they left the old man huko. Imagine that. So that's what kids will do. So amelea mtoto, mtoto ameenda Maju, so huyo daughter akafanya plan whatever was needed to take her mom. So wakawacha mzae Kenya. So yeye na bwana yake na mama yao wako huko, mzae ako Kenya. So this is not something unique to you. There was a documentary juzi about how old men are being left ushago. Bibi amekuja Nairobi kuishi na watoto wake, and the old man ako ushago, can't cook for himself, can't clean for himself. He's just there miserable, and that's why men die early. We don't find overwhelming numbers of men who abandon their wives to go live with their children, but the number of women who abandon their husbands to go live with their children is incredible. It's very high. So men, this is a possibility in your future. This is something you need to factor in for the future, that your kids will abandon you and your wife will support them abandon you, and you'll be alone and you'll be miserable, and you spent the big part of your life fending for these people. You sacrificed a lot for these people, but you know what they say? For the woman, it is what have you done for me lately? And especially a man after retirement, when you are no longer the person she relies on for food, for putting bread in her stomach. Now that she is relying on the children, and you are relying on the children, now the children become her husband, quote unquote, because they are doing the provision role. So to them, they are more important than now the man they are married to. So that's not unique to you, my brother. So what you need to do is you need to stop being a bitch. Grow up. Grow up. You are not special. So unataka tukusaidie nini? Just grow up and stop whining. Better men have gone through the same. So what you need to do is tafuta wanaume kama wewe, muanzishe support group. Anzisheni support group. Now let's look at this one quick fast. Hii tunaguzia tu kidogo kidogo tukienda. Okay? Kidogo kidogo tukienda ndio tufunge nini at 1 hour 30 minutes. Let's see. Women, you don't know better than your parents. You don't know better than your parents. The 25-year-old lady revealed she was in love with a man from a different tribe, but her parents haven't approved of their relationship. So what is the nini? The issue here is you want someone from a different tribe. Your parents are telling you, go F yourself. We are not doing that. Listen, children, watoto, you think you know, but you don't know. You think you know, but you don't know. Skizeni. Listen to your parents. This is something that I want to say. On average, a parent wants what's best for the child. Of course, there are psycho parents out here. Kama huyu mama wa Extian. That's a psycho. But aside from that, if you know your parent and you know your parent has always done what's best for you in the past and presently, why would you question them when they tell you that is not good? If they have a proven track record of always doing what's best for you, why the fuck do you think you can question them on this? Why? Because you are feelings, because you are in love. Kwani do you think you are the first person to be in love? Idiot. Listen to your parents. A lot of people are regretting today because they did not listen to their parents, because their parents told them this is not working. Listen, idiots. And when I say idiots, I mean young men and young women. So when I say idiots in this small section, please, if you're a young man, young woman who is unmarried or who has married but wazazi wako approve, just put yourself up because you are an idiot. If your parent has always done what's best for you and now they're telling you this one iko segemnege kidogo, need to listen. You need to listen. Parents know more. Not only parents, and that's why it is advisable when you meet someone and you think you want to have something serious with them, and they have shown that they want to have something serious with you, you need to have people who are qualified to vet them. And that is elder brothers, elder sisters, and parents. Introduce them because they will see a lot more than you because you have blinders on. Wewe uko na blinders on because of this nonsense of love and sijui kosokoso hii ujinga yote, just because the dude gives you stick and you una shake kama zile kama generator hapo, just because una meet him it's nonsense. Just introduce them and listen to the people who you trust, because a lot of people are a walking red flag, but because you have blinders on you can't see, and then you get married to these people, and then now unaanza kushangaa because now people are like, we told you. So you made your bed, lie on it. A lot of people are miserable today because they did not listen to the advice of the people they trusted. or because they chose not to seek advice of the people they trust, people with more experience. So if your father and your mother have been married for the last 50 years, wewe unafikiria utawaambia nini about long term relationship? Na ni mtoto mdogo amekuzaa, amekulea wewe, sasa ndio umeanza kuingia kwa hii sekta. Wewe sasa juzi ndio ulianza kupata miti. Juzi mama yako ameishi na hizi miti for the last 30 40 50 years, anajua, anakuambia this guy is a throw. And sometimes the cultures are so different, but this guy unataka is from a culture that is so different that you will always be at loggerheads with your culture and their culture. So your family and their family will always be in conflict, not because of something you did, but because of how this man was raised and how this woman was raised, and what are the expectations. I've seen it. People who get married to people from a different culture have problems. Listen, kama wewe ni Bantu, seek mtu from the Bantu nation, Akiuk and Alunje, like cultures ni almost hivi. Kuna place zinaachana but kidogo sana, ziko tu hivi. But if you are a Bantu uende kwa Nilots, ama wewe ni Kushite ukuje kwa Bantu, that is just problems from the get go. Problems from the get go. Kama wewe ni a Bantu, alafu pia kwa Bantus pia kuna these different tribes and expectations and everything. So you need to critically look at their culture. You are not going to get married, for example, as a Kikuyu lady, you are not going to convince your parents that they have to pay bride price for you because you went and married an Indian. That is something they will tell you to go drying. They will expect bride price. But then umeenda umetafuta muhindi na muhindi yuko ana expect bride price. So nyi watu wawili mna expect to it happen. It will never happen. So you have problems from the get-go. So listen to your parents. I would rather listen to my parent and make a wrong decision than not listen to my parents and make a wrong decision. I'd rather listen to people I trust and they be wrong than not listen to them and I be wrong. Because if I listen to them and I be wrong and they be wrong, then they will be supportive of whatever measures I'll put in place to get myself out of it. But if I did not listen to them and then I am wrong, I lose my support system. But hatutaki kuambiana ukweli. Huyu dem ni miti, alisikiza miti hapo akasikia we hii quick fast tuone mtu mwingine aliokotwa hapa. Aliokotwa kotokoto. Wa mwisho. Yeah. Hey, by the way, before tuongelee hii, hii hata si muhimu. Anyway, wacha tufanye hii quick fast in the next minute, alafu tuongelee ile international sijui whoever day ilikuwa hapa juzi. Hata tutaiongelea sana. Hiyo, that's a very small thing. A man who met his wife online and relocated to Kenya to be with her said she stole from him and was unfaithful. The heavy-hearted businessman said he gifted his wife a car and opened a business for her but cheated on him with 6 men. Wewe, hata akili una. Just start from there. You don't have a head. Akili una. So hata we are not feeling nothing for you. Mimi naambiaga madem, ukipata mtu wa kukula, kula. Ukipata mtu wa kukula, kula ushibe. Now, tukifunga in the next 2 minutes. We celebrated International Women's Day juicy, right? But apparently there is a question, who is a woman? That people don't seem to know how to answer. What is a woman? So what were we celebrating? We were celebrating what day? Whose day were we celebrating? If we don't know who a woman is. So people are so stuck up their ass. They have their, like why can't we just bring back honesty? Bring back savagery. I want that to be brought back. Because that's how we've been keeping people in check. So you come and tell me, Happy Women's Day. And juzi huko unajua who is a woman. So who are we celebrating? Happy whose day? Happy whose day? Happy whose day? If we don't know who a woman is. So if you don't know that a woman is an adult human female. Do not toa mambo ya Happy Women's Day if you do not recognize the fact that a woman is an adult human female. Do not dare say Happy International Women's Day because you don't know who or what a woman is. Very simple. So if somebody comes and, especially those people who are so woke, they pretend they don't know who a woman is, and then wako Twitter, Happy International Women's Day, wangefaa kupatiwa maneno. Wambe, so happy whose day? Who is a woman? And then they should have been reminded that they didn't know who a woman was yesterday. So who are we telling us to celebrate? Happy who? Happy whose day? You don't know who a woman is. And in fact, you don't even recognize what 99% of the world recognize as a woman. You've decided to have your own definition of a woman. So you do not have the privilege of saying Happy International Women's Day until you go back and first of all know who a woman is, and then you can come and tell us Happy International Women's Day. And this is something which you women, you are just, you wanawake wanakwaga washenzi. And this is nothing like derogatory. This is because of frustration. The frustration I feel as a man, because you are the people at the forefront who are leading the charge on erasing yourselves. You've been fighting for, you've been battling a lot of issues from the 1900s to be recognized in law, to have rights of inheritance, to be your own person, autonomy, all these things from the even before the 1900s. And now within 1 decade, you have forgotten. You are now leading the charge to undo everything the women who came before you fought for. You are the ones leading the charge. So I feel nothing for you. I just look at you like idiots. I've been saying, like, juzi nilikuwa na watch this stream ya whatever, and the men were the ones who were trying to articulate to the women on the panel who a woman is and what a woman is, and the women were like, no, that is not correct. As long as you identify as a woman, you are a woman. Idiot. So we men will get to a point where we are tired. Listen, we as men, we are under no risk from trans men. Believe you me, we don't care if they come into our bathrooms. We don't care if they come into our lockers, our shower. We don't care because we are men, because we can take care of we. But you women, in fact, if you asked men, they will be very happy to allow these trans men, especially those ones who have not done the medical transition, to be coming into their locker rooms and their shower rooms. When they have all the paraphernalia, you talk about paraphernalia, they have all the built and everything that a woman should have. And now they identify as a man. We welcome them. Kujeni kwa locker rooms, kwa shower rooms, kujeni. Nothing will happen to you. But you're going to make the day for a lot of men. They will look at you crazy, but they are like, you do you. But the moment a man who has all the appendages of a man starts to get access to the locker room and the shower rooms of women, then as men, because we are fathers, we are fathers to daughters, and we are grandfathers to granddaughters. We want to protect them because we know that men pose a danger to women, but women rarely pose a danger to men. So for us men, see, we are cool, we are good. Trans men, you do you. There is no way mtakuja kwa our sports and beat us. There is no way mtakuja kwa any sphere ya men where men are excelling and beat us. No way. But now men, trans women on the other hand, are demolishing everything women have built since whenever women started their agitation and what. And even there is something somebody said, and natakumaliza na hii, that the best woman is actually a man. So this has been your Sunday morning service. You've been with your Bishop, Reverend Pastor Kamau wa Mwega, and this has been the Mwega Sunday live show. So thank you very much for the people who were with me during the live and the people who will watch after the fact. Karibuni sana. We will try and be doing this thing consistently every Sunday morning at 7:30. Until the next time, be blessed, have a nice week, and stay woke, open your eyes, and always look at things not only on the surface level. Look at the text, the subtext, and what is hidden underneath. And it's been a pleasure. It's been good. Thank you for joining me.